Hello, friends. It's Sam Chaney reporting for Weaponized News. Today is May 21st, 2026. Thank you for joining us on this Thursday edition of Weaponized News. We have Ruckus on the line joining us today to go over all of this insanity for you. Let's, the hooks of the show. We still don't know. They're negotiating peace in Iran on day 83 of the war. We'll take a look at the back and forth between America and Iran there. They're rolling out technocracy like we never seen before this fast. So we're going to cover a little bit of that. Looks like some guy was on Fox News wearing a mask, and we'll look at that video. Bizarreness, insanity. We got economic news. We have public health news. We have geopolitical news. And then, of course, the continuing news about the leveling of Lebanon there. So all that and much more. We got the joint, what's it called? The joint declaration from the Russia-China meeting. Take a look at that. Whole lot of news for you today. Thank you for joining us. Let's get to this day in history quickly so we don't leave Ruckus hanging too long in the green room. This one is hilarious because it mirrors today. So I guess history doesn't repeat, but it rhymes. Let me pronounce this correctly for you. Curacao. On this day of May 21st, we go back to the year 1793. Curacao Island Council forbids criticism of House of Orange. Seriously. Now MAGA forbids any criticism of House of Orange, a la Trump. So isn't that a strange coincidence? On this day in 1819, we saw the first bicycles here in America, and they were called Swift Walkers. They rolled out in New York City. So it's not a bicycle, it's a Swift Walker, originally named on this day, 1819. On this day in 1881, we saw the founding of the American Red Cross. On this day in 1908, here in America, we saw the first American horror movie, silent film, Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde. It premiered in Chicago, Illinois, with no S. The S is silent. I'm just learning that. Almost 50 years old. I'm just learning that. Apparently, it's attributed to my California accent, my mispronunciation of Illinois. On this day in 1917, we saw the Great Fire of Atlanta. At least 10,000 people were displaced, but there was never one fatality. The Great Fire of Atlanta. So that's good. On this day in 1927, aviator Charles Lindbergh, in the spirit of St. Louis, lands in Paris after the first solo flight across the Atlantic. Quite an aviation feat. 1964, on this day, U.S. begins intelligence flights over Laos. On this day in 1968, nuclear-powered submarine USS Scorpion with 99 men aboard reported missing and is later found at the bottom of the ocean off the Azores. 1979, we saw the White Night riots. Dan White, convicted of the voluntary manslaughter of San Francisco Mayor George Moscone and openly gay supervisor Harvey Milk. The conviction on a lesser charge outraged the gay community and led to the White Night riots in San Francisco. On this day in 1980, The Empire Strikes Back from the Star Wars series was released and premiered on this day in 1980. 1981, on this day, we saw Bob Marley's funeral. Bob Marley received a state funeral in Jamaica. And on this day in 2017, Barnum and Bailey ends a 146-year run. Barnum and Bailey Circus performs for the last time in New York City on this day. And then we have one on this day in our civil liberties history. In our civil liberties history, we go back to the year 1940. FDR okays continued FBI wiretapping. President Franklin Roosevelt on this day told Attorney General Robert Jackson to ignore a recent Supreme Court ruling on wiretapping, claiming it did not apply to national security. The court in Nordon versus United States, December 11, 1939, ruled that wiretapping was illegal under the 1934 Communications Act. Roosevelt's instructions to the Attorney General on this day represented just one of several examples in modern American history when presidents claimed a national security exception to existing laws. On August 24th, 1936, FDR authorized J. Edgar Hoover to resume political spying by the FBI and then to investigate subversive activities. On September 6, 1939. On May 20th, 1954, for example, President Eisenhower's Attorney General, Hubert Brunel, advised the FBI on how to evade a recent Supreme Court decision on eavesdropping. In short, while many of the FBI's actions under J. Edgar Hoover were secret and unknown to his superiors, many others were directly authorized or passively approved by the Attorney General or the President. The notorious COINTELPRO program, for example, which arguably involved the most abusive FBI actions, was approved by the National Security Council on March 8th, 1956, with both the President and the Attorney General giving their silent assent. And so we do appreciate all of that tyranny here in free America by the government keeping us safe for their own national security purposes. Here's our segue to the news. Extremely bizarre clip here on the war channel, Fox News. Fox News stages propaganda for war. Interview with retired Robert Harford, former deputy commander of U.S. Central Command. Shadow of Ezra on the X posted this. I saw it posted a couple other places. I don't know. Take a look at this. Looks like the guy's wearing a mask. Maybe, I don't know. Extremely bizarre here now.
The president has time on his hands. He controls the narrative, he controls the strike capabilities, and he knows that the policy he set with the blockade has had short-term and long-term effects on the regime and the people of Iran. So he's been very astute in leveraging that time. And so I don't see it as negotiations. It really is capitulation. The president's made it very clear.
How you doing this Thursday, Ruckus?
I am. Are those the new? I mean, we did the N95 masks during the last thing. Is that the new mask for the new thing? Is that what that was?
These are the new rat masks.
That was clearly a rubber mask thing. I mean, it wasn't just the slit thing under that they were focused on. You could also see when the guy's talking, like you can kind of see it's got like this mushroom bullfrogging thing happening because it's rubbing against the collar of his shirt. What is going on? What is happening? Who is that? Why are they? Wow.
He's a alleged military expert, former deputy commander of U.S. Central Command, is who they said this guy
Okay, well,
was.
okay. I mean, again, it's very strange, but I guess I wouldn't. I mean, because back in the day, you would like disguise them with like a tradition. You would like hide them in the dark in the corner and maybe change their voice. But maybe they're using a newer. Well, you just throw a rubber mask on the guy so that they can come out on Fox News and they don't look weird. Although that looks pretty weird, right?
Don't be a panicking, Ruckus.
I will absolutely not be a panicking. I promise.
And that is the segue to there is Massey going to burn it all down? I don't know. This is old news, but he just put this post out there. Massey says the U.S. should not use propaganda on our citizens, but the prohibition was lifted in 2013. He thanks this Congressman Roser for co-sponsoring H.R. 5704 to repeal the 2013 Smith-Mundt Modernization Act. And so for those that don't know, we've talked about it many times on this show. Under the Obama administration in 2013, they repealed the Smith-Mundt Act, which said that you're not allowed to propagandize the American people here domestically, allegedly, right? And so we know they were propagandizing the American people ever since you could propagandize somebody, but they made it official here now. What do you make of this? Should the government be allowed to propagandize the American people or not, Ruckus?
Well, they do, and it doesn't matter. And I've looked into this a number of times. It's been a while. I'll revisit it since it's back in the news again. But it's not 100% exactly the way most people think it is or what the issue is. But what one of the confusions is some people say it was because of this that it says, it's okay. No, it was the repeal of whatever protections were put in there by this act that is, because there were some things in there that did offer some protections, but it's not 100%, and it's very specific. And I'm just going off of memory here. Again, I'll do a deep dive, but check it. Do the research yourself. That's important to do, but it has something to do with foreign outlets that are owned by American-owned foreign propaganda outlets can't be used to turn around and propagandize us. It's something like that. So it's not exactly what you think it is. It's not. It has nothing to do with like internal propaganda. You know what I mean? So it offers zero. I mean, it's a talking point. It's a political thing. But whatever protections it did offer, it was a good thing when it was around. But it was repealed under Obama. That is true. And it's funny that a lot of the MAGA folks who are like angry about that kind of thing because it's like a jab at Obama for doing such a thing. How dare they? But now they're like, look at the propaganda that's coming out of this current administration. And that is coming from the official channels, from the White House, from the Department of War. It's now called the Department of War. And look at that. We got a guy with a mask. So, I mean, like to argue about the Frank, what was it called again? Is it Frank Dodd? Or I don't even remember the name of it anymore. You know what I mean? It's like, I think it's Smith-Mundt. I'm thinking of something else. The Frank Dodd was, never mind. That could come into play soon.
That was fake financial reform after the 2008 collapse.
Yeah, and then you throw in the thing with Reagan, and I think we're going to have all three of these things affecting our lives soon enough.
Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh. Well, hey, what do you think of top spiritual advisor to Trump here, Paula White's post? For some reason, she's all in my feed over there on the X. She says, I hear the sound of abundance of rain. Get ready, prepare yourself for his outpouring.
Who's?
God, I guess is who she's.
Are you sure with that lady? Because she might be talking about Trump.
They preach this prosperity gospel, right?
Oh yeah, I mean, and that, yeah, I know exactly what that is. A bunch of garbage, completely unbiblically founded, and the most obvious graft, whatever the word is, in your face. They're just like taking your money. But could you imagine grafting that grift onto what Trump does? Be like, oh yeah, now you by blessing Trump, like if you want to send some money to, could you imagine them convincing MAGA to donate money to Trump just so that they can receive prosperity gospel rewards via Trump? Like, oh, if you like, it's a buy-in, it's a crypto meme project, Sam. You donate 10% of your income to Trump, to America, and you get Trump coin for life or something like that, right? I don't know. It's crazy. It's absolutely insane. But yeah, who or what is she talking about? I wonder. And which God? When she says God, I really wonder about that too.
Here's some exciting news, Ruckus. White House reposted this today.
Oh boy.
The technocracy is coming in hot and heavy.
Google has announced it's bringing a $15 billion data center to mid-Missouri, set to be located in New Florence, about 90 minutes west of St. Louis. Now, Google says the project will create thousands of construction jobs and hundreds of permanent jobs. It says it won't hurt the water supply as it will be built with air cooling technology. The company is going to spend $20 million to drive down energy bills for residents. Governor Mike Kehoe says it's a win-win for everyone.
The Google folks themselves, as well as the developer, committed up front to me, to the county, and others. They want to be a community partner when they come into this county. They just don't want to build a facility and go back to wherever they're from. They want to be a part of the fabric of this community.
The data center is going to be located next to an already approved $35 billion data center run by Amazon. Google.
Sure. Double dipping, are we? Wow. But we'll put it right next to the other one. Oh my goodness gracious. Wow. I like the hundreds of jobs, permanent jobs. For who, first of all? Do they mean for humans or do they mean permanent jobs for the robots? But a permanent job. Raise your hand if you want a permanent job. Do you want to work at a job permanently, forever? I don't. I'm like, what does that mean? Permanent jobs. Yeah, it's obviously to address the concern. The idea is that when they share, they're like, oh, it's good for jobs. It just means for the construction's sake and the setup. And then like, hey, well, we don't need you anymore. Here's your pink slip, or the contract is over, right? It's not renewed. But yeah, this is happening everywhere. It's happening in a small town near me, the one I live in. It's crazy. This is all wild stuff, Sam. But again, I doubt this is just so that people can make cat videos. It's very telling that this one is for Google and it's going right next to the one for Amazon. And this has everything to do with AI and nothing to do with data collection, surveillance, technocracy, or any of that stuff. I'm so sure, right?
For our own well-being, and of course, the federal government, executive branch, Trump administration will keep us safe. Well, turns out Trump postpones AI executive order regulating AI due to concerns about over-regulation of AI.
Yeah, we wouldn't want to over-regulate it too much before it kills us all, right?
Well, maybe we'll just all get the brain chips at birth. There's Elon Musk. He predicts that in the near future, humans will have chips implanted directly into their brains.
You know, I think some kind of brain machine interface that can give you cybernetic superpowers, I think, is probably good. It could, help people that have brain or spine injuries. Enable people who've never spoken for years to speak again, which we've done. Give people eyesight who have lost both eyes or the optic nerve, or maybe have never even seen at all, blind from birth, by direct interface to the optical centers in the brain. You can actually restore eyesight or give people eyesight that they've never had before. And you can enable people to walk again, which I think is profound. I mean, these are kind of Jesus level things, let's say like when technologies are hitting like Jesus level miracles, that's pretty good.
Is Elon Musk the second coming of Jesus Christ?
Was that even Elon Musk? He sounded different than he normally does. He improved his speech. He had a little bit of a British-sounding accent, I noticed. There was something very off about that. However, he is on repeats. This is the same. You could find stuff where he was talking about this 10 years ago. He never, that guy's a broken, he's broken. He's a broken record, 100%. Oh my gosh, dude, I'm not going to get the brain chip. I'm not getting the damn brain chip. And people who have never seen they've been blind from birth. They've never, ever seen before. So whatever happens inside their little head there, they think is seeing is probably not seeing. And how would they know the difference? I mean, you could just signal like flashes of red and they're like, I can see, mommy, you're pretty. And it's just like freaking red and death and skulls. Who the hell knows? It's really starting to wonder because Trump, it's under a Trump administration railroaded through. And of course, we all suspect who and what is the puppet behind, the puppet master pulling his strings. And we think that it's aardvark land, but I'm really starting to wonder if it is, Sam, or if it's not. Maybe Skynet is the one who's really in control of Trump. What do you think? Is Trump a time traveler from the future sent by the robots to destroy humanity? I don't know. Maybe.
That's a good segue to the next story here, Ruckus. The Trump administration is awarding $2 billion in grants to 9 quantum computing firms in exchange for minority equity stakes, aiming to strengthen U.S. supply chains and speed up quantum hardware development. Major recipients include IBM with $1 billion for a quantum chip facility in New York, Global Foundries with $375 million, D-Wave, Riggedy, and Influxation with roughly $100 million each grant from the U.S. federal government. You're in my taxpaying money.
And it's going to minorities? Is that what it said? Oh, wait, that's not what that meant, right?
No, this is your techno-fascist police state right here, because the U.S. government is now owning equity stakes in these companies.
Yep, pretty clever how that works, right? And then those guys in the circular funding thing, because those companies are now invested in the what's the name of that Trump fund thing that the baby gets the money when it's born or whatever?
Trump accounts.
Trump accounts. Thank you. Yeah, of course. I mean, it's Trump this, Trump that, Trump everything. Jeez. It's like the Smurfs. Remember the Smurfs? Right? Mm-hmm. They would use the word Smurf to replace like random nouns, verbs, adjectives. It's that way with Trump. He's like, I'll trump you if you don't trump what I trump. Are you trumping what I'm trumping?
Too big. They're building all this right now, and you say anything wrong with it, hey, it's too big to fail, too big to jail, brother. Here's this should warm everybody's heart. The Department of War here, Undersecretary Michael, talking about they are streamlining processes of the Department of War via AI. It's very exciting.
These partners you're working with. Recently, I saw that Google, some employees wrote to the executive saying, we don't want to work with the Pentagon. We don't want this company to do this. Are you seeing pushback from AI? We're off of a weekend where the future of this country booed commencement speakers the second they mentioned the words AI or artificial intelligence.
Yeah, I think to address the Google things, I think 600 out of their 100,000 employees, or less than 1%, sort of had an issue with it. And I think they've learned from the activism of 10 years ago when employees wanted to import their political opinions into the company's strategy. And these companies are public companies. They have a lot of public shareholders. So the leadership has to do what's good for those shareholders. When it comes to, the AI reputation and where they rank for the American people, the military is here and the AI companies are down here. And it's because the leadership keep talking about job loss and loss of sort of sovereignty as an individual. And I think that's wrong. I think they should talk about what AI can do, help you maybe more efficient, help you grow your business, help you cure diseases, help you do things that it can do. And I'm encouraging all of them to talk about that piece, because I don't believe the bad piece, but I do believe in the good piece.
And, you'll have to learn how to use this to become more efficient as your neighbors, friends, and coworkers are dropping like flies, right? You got to pick up the slack. Holy moly.
More from Michael here. The Department of War says embracing AI to augment the war fighter.
Is this a video game or something? This is getting wacky.
It's getting dystopic.
Yeah, so as the Department of War, we are embracing AI. We went from 80,000 users before we deployed AI broadly to the department to about 1.5 million out of our 3 million employees and contractors. So we're seeing great interest. And the reason is because it's making their jobs easier and it's letting them do more in less time. So I think some of these companies are using AI as an excuse to slim down the companies they already want to slim down, where we're using it, and we're not shrinking, to increase the productivity of employees.
It's just all a little bit in your face. This is a learning lesson. Kids are like, well, the companies, they don't know what they're doing. They're using it the wrong way. But the military, we're killing all the right people with the AI or whatever. Holy moly. Sorry about that.
Maximum lethality.
It's like getting the most bang for your buck, right? Killing two birds with one stone. It makes you more efficient. Well, what are you in the business of doing? Oh, well, we kill people. Oh, so the AI helps you be more efficient at killing people. Exactly. Oh, sweet.
The Department of War is embracing AI to augment the war fighters. That's what they posted on their X channel. Okay, on to the Iran war, day number 83. So we already defeated them, but Khomeini's still in charge. He put out a statement via Reuters, published a few statements from Khomeini, the second son of the old man Khomeini that we whacked, kicking this whole thing off. He's issued a statement via Reuters. Directive that the country's highly enriched uranium stockpile must not be sent abroad. Two senior Iranian sources who spoke to Reuters on the condition of anonymity. The Supreme Leader's directive and the consciousness within the establishment is that the stockpile of enriched uranium should not leave the country. Iranian officials reportedly believe that surrendering the enriched uranium stockpile would leave Iran defenseless against future U.S. aardvark land attacks. However, they indicated feasible formulas exist, including diluting the stockpile under IAEA supervision rather than shipping it out. Iran had offered similar arrangements during the Geneva negotiations before U.S. aardvark land launched the war against them. Several reports indicated at the time, the sources said there is, quote, deep suspicion among Iran's top officials that the pause in hostilities is a tactical deception by Washington to create a sense of security before it renews airstrikes. CNN reports, according to U.S. intelligence assessments, that Iran is rebuilding parts of its military industrial base far faster than expected following the, quote, pause in direct strikes. According to the report, Iran has resumed production of attack drones and is rapidly restoring missile launchers, production lines, and other key military infrastructure during this downtime. One official told CNN that Iran had exceeded all timelines previously estimated by the U.S. intelligence community for restoration. The assessment reportedly contradicts recent claims by CENTCOM commander Brad Cooper, who told Congress that roughly 90% of Iran's defense industrial base had been destroyed, and that Tehran would be unable to recover for years. U.S. intelligence sources now reportedly believe parts of Iran's military industry may recover within months, not years. So we're getting the two different stories here from our government.
Shocking.
Yeah, I know. Shocking, contradictory stories here. Pakistan Army chief to travel, not time travel, just regular, probably walk. I don't know. Pakistan Army chief to travel to Tehran as Iran prepares response to U.S. proposal. And so Pakistan is being the mediator here, going back and forth between D.C. and Tehran. Iran exceeding all timelines to rebuild military industrial base. Oh, man. Top IRGC official warns Iran will make region and beyond unbearable for enemies after any new attack. So they're saying they'll blow the whole damn place up, just like Aardvark land said. Well, they just blow the place up already. Come on, Trump's bored with this war. Just level the place. Come on, guys.
Noticing a trend here. It's been this way since it started. Plus, all these conflicts are like this. You know, look at the Ukraine thing. How many years are we into that? Look at the Gaza thing. How many years are we? So this is not going away, Sam. You might want to change you might want to reconsider your naming convention on your episodes, because one day it'll be like, well, it's day 567 of Iran war. Well, we'll be sick of it by then.
No, we're going to keep it going here at Weaponized News because we've been tracking it since day one, and it's going to be a giant playlist somewhere.
No, you haven't, because they've been attacking America for the last 45 years or so when they've been trying to build their nuclear war.
47 years.
Yeah. Thank you. See? So, yep. You got to fix that, man.
Let's see here. Here's a quote from top officials at the IRGC. They say, if the enemy makes a mistake, know that it will face even harder days, and the Navy and the IRGC will confront them with operations beyond true promise. Here's CENTCOM. It says in the Constitution, by the way, Ruckus, that we're commissioned to be the police of the Strait of Hormuz.
I missed that part. Can you point me to that section?
It's in there. So as of today, well, let me put the post up here on the screen from U.S. Central Command. As of today, CENTCOM forces have redirected 94 commercial vessels and disabled 4 while enforcing the blockade to prevent the flow of commerce into and out of Iranian ports. Is this a prelude to the Mark of the Beast system? You can't buy or sell unless you have the brain chip?
Yeah, something like that.
And then let's hear old Argachai. I think he's speaking in his Persian language here, Farsi, but we do have English translation. And what he says, this is where he says, is this where he says about the tricks? Somewhere in here they say that they're tired of 1,000 tricks. Maybe this is not it. Let's play this clip from that.
هر جا لازم باشه بجنگیم میجنگیم، هر جا لازم باشه مذاکره کنیم مذاکره میکنیم. مأموریتی هست که نظام به هر یک از ما داده، ما هم مأموریتمون در این مسیر هست. کاملا هم در هماهنگی با مجموعه نظام، مجموعه اهداف نظام. اگر لازم باشه منافع نظام اقتضا بکنه که در میدان دیپلماسی، در میدان گفتگو، در میدان مذاکره حاضر بشیم، حاضر خواهیم شد با قوت، به همون قوتی که نیروهای مسلح در عرصه دفاع از کشور حاضر میشن. هر جا لازم باشه بجنگیم میجنگیم، هر جا لازم.
So they say they will negotiate, whether negotiation or war. So they're basically saying, whatever, dude, we're ready. We want negotiation, diplomacy, but if not, back to the hot war.
Of course they do. That guy, I mean, he's absolutely clearly frightened and intimidated by this whole thing. He could barely keep his composure.
He's on a tour with Russia, China,
eloquently.
No, he's
they don't even know who their leader is, Sam.
His big brother, Russia and China, he just had big meetings with them. So, yeah, he's scared. Sure. U.S. fails to reopen Hormuz despite 1,000 tricks, says Iran. Report out of the cradle, Iran said the United States has failed to reopen the Strait of Hormuz despite 1,000 tricks and acts of deception after Tehran imposed military control over the strategic waterway. There's like a quadruple blockade Persian standoff in the freaking Strait of Hormuz now. U.S. got it blocked here, and Iran has it blocked here and here.
Something's got to give, right?
And Iran, as we continue to report, established the Persian Gulf Strait Authority now, where you have to get permission from them, pay them a toll to drive through there, or they'll shoot you in the face. And if you do that, then America will shoot you in the face. So a Persian standoff is where we are still here now on day 83 of the Iran war. Here's some losses that the let's just say they underreported initially, but now it's come out, and it's even worse than this, right? But this is a nice infographic too by the Clash report. Let me put this up there. 42 aircraft, $2.6 billion, 1 month of war. The U.S. Congressional Research Service report reveals the full cost of Operation Epstein, Epic Fury, America's air campaign against Iran. Note, these are minimum figures. So this is conservative estimates. Now, this is what is official, and it's way worse than even this. But they got all bent out of shape when they whacked this. This right here was a key one, this spy plane with a little UFO dilly bobber on the top of it. That was this was the big one, I believe, that got whacked there. The E3 Century. This one right here is the big one that got whacked out of the skies over Iran, Ruckus.
It's wild. I don't doubt the accuracy of the information there. However, that was I do like the new image model from ChatGPT. That was a fancy infographic. They did a good job. Indeed.
Nice graphic from the Clash report there. Here's a report out of Reuters. They say, as America's diplomatic system hollowed out, foreign governments stopped relying on embassies and official channels to understand Washington. Instead, they built back channels to people personally close to Trump, figures seen as having real influence over his decisions. South Korean officials, frustrated by unclear signals during tariff negotiations, bypassed U.S. trade diplomats and worked through White House Chief of Staff Susie Wiles to better understand Trump's intentions. Japan turned to SoftBank founder Sun, one of Trump's golfing partners, using him as an informal messenger to the White House. At the center of this new system were Jared Kushner and Steve Witkoff, though Kushner had no formal government role and Witkoff had no diplomatic experience. Foreign governments increasingly treated them as more important than traditional diplomats because of their direct access to Trump.
Remember how there was a bit of a concern about the Democrats like selling access via the son to the president for the father?
Pay to play.
And everybody was like, oh, hey, buddy, you can't do that. Yet Look around you, everybody. Look around.
Hunter Biden on Burisma Energy Board and 10% to the big guy.
Compared to what is happening out in the open. And by out in the open, I mean on Trump's golf course, quite literally. Literally out in the open. Yeah, this is not how you're supposed to do government. Least of all America. This is not how America is supposed to be doing government. I hope this changes real soon, Sam. This is not good.
It's a new era. It's a new world order, and we're not even the thin veil, which was this thin to start with, is gone. It's straight up gangster capitalism. We put a gun in your face, do what we say, or maximum lethality.
The guy literally said he doesn't care about Americans' finances or economic situation, whatever he said. You cannot make it up, right? What did he say back in the day? He said he was like, people love me. I could walk out in the street in the middle
Fifth
of
Avenue in New York. He's talking about it. So you could walk out,
shoot somebody. Yeah.
You could walk out and shoot somebody on Fifth Avenue in New York in broad daylight, and everybody would cheer. Essentially,
well, and I thought that was wild, but now I'm like, yeah, he was right. That's where we're at.
I guess we're all well. Apparently, I'm a libtard now. I have Trump derangement syndrome, and yeah, that's all the hate I've been getting here the last week.
Feeling my newly adopted suffering of Trump derangement syndrome, which I never had before until just recently. Thanks. I mean, this is according to other people, of course. It gets worse. The symptoms get worse every time Trump does something, whether or not I even react to it at all. Every time he does something that's detrimental to the country, suddenly my symptoms have increased. So I don't even have to say anything or do it. It's amazing. It's a scary disease, Sam. Wouldn't you agree?
You're the bad guy when Trump does something wrong. Yeah.
You don't have to do anything. Just sit on your butt, and it's like, wow, you get blamed for something. Like what?
I think if Democrats took control of the Congress, I think that, and let's say took control of the country, I think that this country's finished. These people are sick. They suffer from Trump derangement syndrome, but really they have bad policy. They have horrible policy. They cheat on elections. They get elected by cheating on elections. But you would have two states added. They'll terminate the filibuster immediately. Republicans should do that. They'll terminate the filibuster. You'll have Washington, D.C., and you'll have Puerto Rico as a state, which will be a disaster, which would be 4 Senate seats, tremendous numbers of electoral college votes. You will have that's really bad, but you will have the destruction of our country. They want to go to 21 Supreme Court judges. That's their perfect number. They talk about 13, but they want to go to 21 Supreme Court judges. If they get in power, I think this country would be maybe finished.
Ruckus, I want 33 Supreme Court judges. All right.
I'll take it.
Well, Trump has baked that into the cake now, because by all accounts here, what are we? We're not that far away from November. The Republicans are going to lose the midterm elections here now. Horribly.
It's only because the Democrats are going to cheat and steal it and do that. Because I mean, like, I'm not even allowed to point out the hypocrisy of him complaining about Democrats doing that, considering what just happened to Thomas Massie, which Trump and his friends and his golf buddies and his donors had absolutely nothing to do with that. I mean, that dude beat Massie fair and square, clearly. Not. But yeah, but I'm not allowed to point that out, because that would mean I'm only pointing that out because I have TDS. So you're
panicking. I'm
panicking. It's a tough, I mean, why do you even have me on here? I mean, but what's the point, right? We should just all come on and say, golly gee, Trump is right. He's fantastic. He's wonderful. Except YouTube, we hate Trump, right? This is, yeah.
Ignore the panicans and trust in President Trump.
Thanks. Where's she been lately? I miss her.
She's on maternity leave. We want her to come back.
Hurry back.
We miss her. Okay, on to public health now. Did you know according to, and it's pretty late in the month here. I didn't know, but according to Bobby Kennedy Jr. here now, Secretary of Health and Human Services, May is Lyme Disease Awareness Month.
How convenient.
I did not know that. Lyme disease now affects an estimated 476,000 Americans each year and remains one of the most common vector-borne diseases in America.
Why, whatever does that mean, vector-borne? That's a fun one, kids. Look that up.
So, yeah, there's a lot of reports out there. Do you think they're releasing weaponized ticks out there, Ruckus?
I have seen some very convincing evidence that would suggest something like that is happening. I don't know if they're weaponized, but people are dropping off and depositing boxes and flying helicopters over farmland. That is very much happening. I don't know what's going on. I can't prove it for myself, but I'm convinced enough that I'm not looking at like Google VO3 created videos of these things happening that people are talking about and posting on their social media. So very concerning, Sam.
Lab 257, go take a look at it. The dude, Carroll, the author, he exposed it a long time ago. Plum Island. They were doing all kind of crazy biological experiments there, and either it escaped or they released it on purpose. We don't know 100%. But
hey, now the government would never do that. That's where we draw the line.
Well, they were Nazi scientists brought over via Operation Paperclip, many of whom working on biological and chemical weapons programs on Plum Island for the United States. But yeah, I'm sure it was all an accident where Lyme disease actually originated from, Plum Island. Hey, just drug your kids up. You know what I mean? Anxiety diagnoses by pediatricians up 300% in the last 10 years. And so the solution is give them more drugs. The rate of children's primary care visits that included a mental health diagnosis rose dramatically from 2014 to 2023 in Massachusetts. This study was looking at anxiety showed the largest jump of any mental health condition tracked with a 300% relative increase over a decade. ADHD remained the single most common mental health concern seen as these pediatric primary care visits through the entire study period. And that was a study published on the JAMA network.
And you know, these are things where they're like put on some sort of treatables, right, for these conditions. So I was thinking mental health issue for the kids. Are the kids really having a problem? Well, maybe, but maybe not. It sounds like they're just labeling kids being kids as, oh, well, you can't sit still. You can't pay attention. You've got ADHD. Ding, here's a pill for you, mom and dad, to put the kids on. And thus it begins. It's that kind of thing, I'm sure.
They give the kids pharmaceutical grade amphetamines and burn their brains out with this stuff because the kids are being kids. That's where we're at here now.
Well, I mean, they're being kids inside of this environment. I would struggle too. I mean, we've got social media, TikTok, AI, all these crazy violent video games, propaganda from our own government. So yeah, I mean, so maybe the kids, definitely stress and anxiety. I can see that, but again, kids should not experience stress and anxiety. Like, I don't know if I buy into all of this, but at one point in my life, I was allegedly diagnosed, nothing too official. Don't go crazy out there. I'm sure it's in a government file somewhere anyways, but of having stress anxiety disorder because I suffered panic attacks. But my panic attacks began when I was like 11 or 12 years old, possibly even younger. And it could, I mean, for whatever reason, it could be a neurological cause for whatever it was. But to think that when you're 10 to 12 years old being triggered by stress or anxiety, that was really outlandish to think of back then. But that was the time that my entire life changed, that my parents went through a divorce and separated in new houses and new towns, new school system, all this stuff at a very important time of my life, right on the heels of a massive tragedy, the Shuttle Challenger thing. So there was some validation to this concept that maybe I started having panic attacks because of stressful events in my life, even though I was only somewhere between 10 or 12 years old. So like, yes, kids in today's environment, I'm like, yeah, I guess I could see them stressing out. I mean, I would be a little stressed out too, but I mean, to what degree does that need to be treated with drugs? Not at all. 100% not at all. Does not need to be treated by drugs. And that, again, just opens the door to a bunch of problems. But I mean, this is a massive fundamental change that we need to take a step back and look at society. And here we are having these arguments about the data center, which powers a lot of these things on the face of it, allegedly, although I think it's for the surveillance or technology. But if it's really for the AI and the shopping and the Amazon's that's adding and creating the stress for these kids. Can't we just make it all go away? Can't we go back to how it was, Sam?
There's no going back. RJ Reynolds, one of the largest U.S. tobacco companies and maker of Camel and Newport cigarettes, donated $5 million to Trump. Days later, company executives reportedly met with him at Mar-a-Lago to push for looser flavored vape regulations after the FDA changed its policy, according to a report out of the failing New York Times there. And it's rumored that's the reason why old FDA head Marty Markery resigned, because of his protest over this deregulation of flavored vape out there.
The FDA is a freaking joke. If you haven't all learned that by now, that is not there for your regulation, for your safety. That is a pay to play, just little shish kebab. What the F is happening there? It's crazy. It's crazy. It's crazy. Yeah, stay away from the FDA. I hate them. Anyways.
Listen to the Food and Drug Administration. They know what's best. Okay.
They have for decades. They've squandered actual real cures to real diseases, like the solution for AIDS and cancer, or you name it, it's out there. People have figured this stuff out, and the FDA is like, no, we don't think that's a good idea. That's not safe. But this is the same organization that under Trump is going to warp speed the miracle jabs, right? Same organization, like, hey, we did some science and we talked to the people and the experts, and we decided for the benefit of the children to not get them addicted to this nasty chemical, we're going to change a few things here and there. And they did, and they went through all that trouble, and now Trump comes in, he's all money, just let me, here we're done. And I was like, yeah, I would, if I was that guy, I would resign too, Sam.
They're getting the fraud, Ruckus. They're getting those dirty fraudsters in Minnesota. 15 defendants. Let's hear now. They've exposed fraud schemes of over $90 million. Let's hear from the DOJ, the Epstein file cover-up artist, but we're getting that dirty fraud from Minnesota Somalis.
Today, we are announcing criminal charges against 15 defendants in Minnesota for fraud schemes that targeted over $90 million in taxpayer dollars. Let me be clear up front about something. This is not the end of our work in Minnesota. This is not the end of the beginning of our work in Minnesota. This is the beginning of our work in Minnesota. The fraud here in Minnesota is shocking. Our cases today involve...
But the problem is the entire system is a fraud.
If the foundations be destroyed, what can the righteous do, right? Yeah.
Here's Dr. Oz. He invited Epstein to a Valentine's Day party, but
recently he doesn't know the guy's not alive.
I want us to think back to what life looked like here in Minnesota a year ago. because that's when we started hearing there were concerns in this state about programs that had been built to provide services that historically had been given by families to their family members who are struggling. Kim Brandt, who's standing behind me, received a phone call, and her team began to work with Minnesota, trying to understand some concerns that were raised, suspicious billing that didn't seem to make a lot of sense. But Minnesota...
He said, the White House posted this, says, we are all up here because we love these programs. Oh my gosh. Investigators uncovered brazen schemes that billed taxpayers for non-existent services, fraudulent diagnoses, and fake care while criminals enriched themselves at public expense. While criminals exploit these programs, taxpayers lose billions and vulnerable children lose their access to care. What about the Ebola?
We're in the wrong business, people. All of us.
Yeah. Right before the Congo Ebola outbreak, NIH virologist Vincent Muster was busted at a U.S. airport smuggling deadly pathogens back from the Congo. Muster runs Ebola field sites in Congo and frequently conducts gain-of-function experiments. He is now under FBI investigation. This guy right here.
Is that for real?
The plot thickens.
No, literally a plot from a book or a movie, right?
Ebola treatment center set on fire in Congo amid anger over virus outbreak.
Not to cover up anything, right?
No, that's a report out of UK Independent. They say this act of arson starkly illustrates the immense challenges faced by healthcare workers. Their stringent measures, critical for curbing the rare Ebola virus, frequently clash with deeply ingrained local customs, particularly tribal burial rites.
I can't believe we're doing the Ebola thing again, right in the middle of the Hanta thing. But yeah, what else are they going to throw our way? Oh, I'm sure it'll be something that we haven't heard of in a long time. Who knows? Pick one at random. The plague. The plague is returned, everybody. Be careful out there.
There are 148 suspected deaths and nearly 600 suspected cases, according to the United Nations, and 2 cases, including 1 death in neighboring Uganda. But the head of the World Health Organization said the outbreak is almost certainly not larger and has expressed concern over the speed of the spread. All that's cooking. It's all cooking in the background here.
Okay, I'm going to have to do somebody out there do a quick check. Is some miracle maker working on a miracle for this particular thing? Right meow.
Well, I'm glad you mentioned that, Ruckus, because just 4 months ago, before the latest strain, what's it called? Bundigoyo? Bugadiyo? Ebola outbreak. Bill Gates, Miracle Enterprise, CEPI, gave Moderna and Oxford $26.7 million to develop a miracle mRNA miracle for this exact strain, coincidentally enough.
Wild, man. Dude. Crazy. Just so many coincidences, Sam. Fascinating.
Bill Gates is one hell of a public health philanthropist.
You just follow that guy if you're for financial advice. To do what he does. Not financial advice, but, you know, anyways. He knows how to pick them, as it were.
He's like Trump playing the stock market, but he's playing the public health game. So yeah,
these people, they know how to pick the winners, because then they make them the winners. They're like, now, you know, I bet on this guy, so I'm going to take that guy and make him the winner. Oh wow, lucky me, I won. I didn't see that coming at all. Oh, I'm so lucky.
It's all for the greater good, Ruckus. Okay, let's take our live commercial break here at the top of the hour. Everybody go to weaponizednews.com/shop. Get yourself some stickers over there. You have the holograph sticker, the white background sticker, and the clear sticker. Weaponizednews.com/shop. Give us a donation if you don't want to patron the store. Links are in the description below this video. Buy me a coffee, Cash App, Bitcoin wallet address, all down there in the description below this video. Or become a paid subscriber on Weaponized News Substack. The links are in the description below this video. Any which way you choose to support us is truly appreciated. Give us that like, share, subscribe, push that notification button. All of that is free. Any which way you choose to support us. Thank you very much. Go ahead and plug away, Ruckus.
Sure. Or if you want to hire Sam 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, armed security as his popularity grows. No, I'm just kidding. Anyways, check out me and my pals over at alternatecurrentradio.com if you're looking for more Ruckus and more Ruckus's pals stuff like the Boiler Room and Sunday Wire, Mystical American Patriot Society. You'll find my stuff here that I do with Sam over at the Roundabout Ruckus bucket over there. That's alternatecurrentradio.com. And you can find links to contact me there or how to reach me on X, which is a good way to do that. Cool. There you go.
Go over and reach out to Ruckus. There you can see right here at AC_wordslinger. Give me a follow and call me a libtard over there on the X like everybody else is doing nowadays at Weaponized News on the X channels there. All right. Thank you for bearing with us through that.
Don't worry, when Michelle Obama becomes president next time, we'll all be like whatever they called us last time, right?
And then we'll be fascists again. Right now we're communists, but now when the other side gets in, then we'll be fascists again. So
gotcha.
To stay with the trends here. Okay, thank you for bearing with us through that commercial break. We give you an hour of hardcore news and analysis there with no commercials. So give us that like, share, subscribe, push that notification button. That's the least you can do. Push that like button. It really does on some of these platforms push you up in the algorithms and help. So we would appreciate that. Thank you very much for your attention to that matter. As Trump would say, welcome back to the second half of Weaponized News on this Thursday, May 21st, 2026 edition. We have Ruckus writing co-pilot with us. I do like this meme, Ruckus. I do like this meme. Why don't you trust the government? Well, because redacted. Of course, those are the Epstein files redacted. They're showed off by old Massey in Congress. So
I need to do a version of that meme, but instead of just one picture under there, it's like it rotates out like a million different reasons, like just cycles through them. Because seriously, there's a million reasons to not trust the government. Anyways.
Trust your government. They know best. Oh, here we go. Here's a clip from Bobby Kennedy Jr. About his interactions there with Epstein.
The Jesus out of the Bureau. You weren't ever on Jeffrey Epstein's jet, were you?
I was on Jeffrey Epstein's jet 2 times. I was on it in 1993, and I was on it and I went to Florida with my wife and 2 children to visit my mom over Easter. My wife had some kind of relationship with Ghislaine Maxwell, and they offered us a ride to Palm Beach. So I went then, and on another occasion, I flew again with my family, with I think 4 of my children, and
Yikes.
Jesse Waters, GTF. I was like, you weren't on the plane, were you? What a stupid setup. That was dumb. That whole segment was dumb. That was dumb.
It was a soft way for him to admit they're trying to get ahead of this quote scandal, right?
Yeah, that's what. Yeah, it was dumb, obvious and silly.
Ro Khanna, the Democrat side of Massey, there in the release, leading the release of the Epstein Files campaign, still covered up in large part by the Justice Department, said the Attorney General has not prosecuted anyone in the Epstein class. The Attorney General has given Trump and his family indefinite immunity. The Attorney General has set up a slush fund to pay off Trump criminal allies. Enough is enough. When Democrats are in charge, we will stand up against two tiers of justice.
Well, that's great, but then you'll immediately follow it up by trampling further upon our freedoms and our rights. Yay!
It's going to be rad, dude. It's going to be rad. And then we get to go through Trump impeachment again. And of course, it's not going to be for the actual crimes. It's going to be for some made up BS, as per usual. Some more Epstein news here. Former Epstein assistant tells House Oversight Committee he abused her for years. Sarah Colon, a longtime personal assistant to Epstein, told the House Oversight Committee today that she was sexually and psychologically abused by Epstein for over a decade. She said he groomed me sexually and psychologically, abused me, controlled me, manipulated me, dominated me, and gaslit me until I could no longer tell which thoughts were my own and which were his. What I've been saying this whole time, high-level MK Ultra style mind control operation is going on in the Epstein files. I said it on day one. As soon as I started reading through them and saw the pictures, I was like, this echoes MK Ultra mind control programming. Ruckus?
Which itself echoes some disturbing occult esoteric stuff. I'm not going to even go there. But yeah, neat.
Neat. Some names, new names were mentioned here today. Now, the new names, that's what we've been waiting for. Comer said, he's the Republican head of the House Oversight Committee. So today was very helpful, and I hope we can continue that because we want to see people held accountable. We want to see men, we don't care who they are, wink, wink, held accountable for terrible, unlawful criminal behaviors. And so some new names were released. Did we even find the new names here? So I wish they would just post the story. Here's the names. That's it. Instead of blah, 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 blah. Can we even find the new names here? Maybe not. Anyway,
it's easier to find the new memes than it is the new names, right?
Sorry, I didn't get you the new names, but 3 new names have been revealed now. Let's see if we can find it quickly. All these stories are just, I'm looking at Newsweek right now, looking for, because the headline says 3 new alleged abusers, names revealed to Congress. And then you go through here, what are the names? Well, I guess maybe we don't even know yet. Maybe we don't.
There are 3 new lines of black bar redactions.
The committee has not publicly released the names, but there are 3 new names for a headline. It's all over your media here now. But here's Newsweek. So 3 new names were revealed to the Oversight Committee, but they've not been publicly released yet. So
yeah, they don't release the names until like next week because they've got plans to. They're all meeting together and playing golf this weekend, Sam.
That's people think that sounds crazy, but that's probably pretty damn accurate.
Like, we can't. We got that party next weekend. It's already done. We hired the caterer and the photographer. We can't. We'll have to wait till after that, I guess.
South Florida Sun Sentinel reports they were underage girls. How Epstein brought victims from Brazil to Palm Beach. So he got them out of Europe, Russia, Brazil. It's worldwide here now.
Diversity.
He lured girls as young as 13 to work for his modeling agency and then entrapped them into sexual servitude, according to Miami Herald investigation based on millions of documents released. And by the way, conservatively, they only released 10%. Some say 2%. I don't know. I've seen estimates, but we'll just conservatively say 10% has been released publicly. The DOJ is still holding on to 90% of the Epstein files that they have. Ruckus. So quite an international operation. In the early 2000s, Epstein jetted down to South America, attending modeling competitions and keeping up with the hottest Brazilian plastic surgeons to handle nip and tucks. And then used those connections with plastic surgeons to also access women or young girls interested in the modeling industry. Any which way this guy could get an in, he was on it, right?
He was a player.
He's a player, homie. And this is, there he is, one more time. Is he even, Epstein didn't kill himself, right?
Look at that guy. I mean, geez, he's suave, sophisticated, incredibly handsome, well-spoken individual, very smart. Yep.
His Bachelor of the Year in Cosmo magazine in the early 80s, right?
The one where he's looking like John Travolta. Yeah, I love that picture.
That's real, too. I was like, this is fake. I went and looked it up. That's real. That's real. Because I was like, no freaking way. This looks fake. This is real, Ruckus. I'm sorry to report to you here now. Our savior, Mr. Investigative Reporter, that's exposing all the wrongdoings and fraud of the Democrats. Old Nick Shirley. Remember, he went super mega viral. Well,
the totally organic guy harassing people at the daycares, right?
Yeah, he's just looking out for American taxpayers, Ruckus.
Oh, is that Howard?
This is Howard Lutnick's X account. He posted this. Howard Lutnick, our Commerce Secretary, who brags about taking his family vacation on Epstein Island and has a weird mask that looks very similar to him in the dental chair images. That definitely looks like some kind of fear-based, trauma-based mind control program. Anyhow, that same Howard Lutnick, thankful. Oh yeah, and his whole company basically died on 9/11. Cantor Fitzgerald, except for him and a few other that did not go to work that day when the towers collapsed. That same Howard Lutnick, now our sitting Commerce Secretary, posted this photo of him and Nick Shirley. He said, it's time to stop rampant fraud once and for all. Thanks to Nick Shirley for exposing this issue and bringing it directly to the American people. He even got fact-checked or community noted on X. The note says Howard Lutnick has perpetrated fraud on the American citizens by openly lying about his relationship with Jeffrey Epstein. Oh my gosh, dude. You can't make this stuff up, Ruckus.
I know. This is, I'm reminded of all of this stuff every day when I wake up. I'm just like, yep, all this stuff is still going on.
Just what is this? Why does Howard Lutnick think that posting a photo of him and Nick Shirley is going to help Nick Shirley in any kind of way when everybody hates Howard Lutnick's guts? Like, is this to undermine Nick Shirley? Is this just a wink? It's all psyops and FU, demoralization. Is that what all this is about?
Yes, this is part of an elaborate fifth-generational propaganda warfare being waged against the American people. I don't quite understand the game myself. Howard Lutnick probably doesn't understand. Nick Shirley probably has no clue that he's a pawn in the game. Howard Lutnick definitely knows what he's doing. So whatever this is, they you know, the proverbial they. This is all part of some sort of scheduled plan. This is like, you know how like marketers, they do like a plan out the whole year with their content calendar and what they're going to post and stuff. This is the kind of stuff that they plan all of these things out, all these narratives and these weird things, and they probably have these meetings and they volunteer like, who's going to do the Nick Shirley thing? Lutnick's like, I'll do it. You know, I'm only halfway kidding, but yeah, a lot of this stuff is intentional. For us to scratch your head about, wonder about, in your face. There might be some obvious esoteric Masonic things staring me in the face that I'm missing. I'm guessing it has to do with the painting of the dude. I should probably find out who the dude is in the painting. But yeah, this is all psychological warfare against the people. It could very well even be an AI-created image, Sam, at this point.
Nick Shirley said, thanks for the time. I'm always am willing and excited to meet and speak with those who are willing to fight the war against fraudsters. But the most
selective. We were very selective about which fraudsters, though, right?
The most classic thing about all of this is the community note there on X. Howard Lutnick has perpetrated fraud on the citizens. I can't even hardly read it without laughing on the citizens. It's very serious, but it's just so freaking ridiculous at this point. Howard Lutnick has perpetrated fraud on the citizens by openly lying about his relationship to Jeffrey Epstein. And it's not even funny. It's just so ridiculous. Okay, Ruckus, we got through all of this. Is this not an insane show? This is an insane show to me, right? And I'm Sam Chaney, Weaponized News, and that's Ruckus Alternate Current Radio, and all we cover is insane stuff. And to me, this is an insane day of news.
It's pretty good so far, yeah. It is day 83 of the war, and 8 plus 3 is 11, so whatever that means.
Okay, on to the economic section of the show now. Private equity firms now own 1 in 8 American apartments, according to a report out of More Perfect Union. Meta Platforms has reached a settlement with a Kentucky school district over accusations the social media companies intentionally designed their platform to addict young people. That's a Wall Street Journal. Mark Cuban, remember him? He's the owner of the Dallas Mavericks. He's like a tech guy, billionaire, gazillionaire, tech bro, homie. And now he's like trying to get into the drug dealing game with legal drugs, of course. Don't do legal or illegal drugs, kids. Anyhow, Mark Cuban, he's a pop billionaire celebrity dude. I think he's on Shark Tank. Anyway, I think most people
he was
know.
on with the other guy, Mr. Wonderful, who's doing the data center in Utah. Kevin, what's his name? Yeah.
Those dudes. I'm pretty sure everybody knows Mark Cuban. Anyhow, Mark Cuban said he sold most of his Bitcoin as Bitcoin has lost the plot. According to
what?
According to a report out of CoinDesk. CEO of NVIDIA. NVIDIA stock performance is one of the mysteries of the universe, he said. This level of gaslighting and just insanity, it can't continue. They're all gonna crash hard. I'm sorry to report to you right now, because this level of euphoric thinking, it cannot last. Ruckus, wait.
Yes, it can.
Yes, it can last.
They all and we all saw it, and they called them out about this very early on. They all very coyly said, "Oh no, we would never." they're going to get a government bailout, dude. This is national security level stuff now. So yeah, the data centers, the AI,
Too big to
since it's
fail,
in green.
too big to jail.
Yeah, so 100%, and they knew it from the get-go. They knew it, right? You go back and watch all of the times in the old interviews and the questions, and Sam Altman in particular, he's like, we would no. And the government was like, no, we would never. That has been the plan all along, my friend. So yeah, it is not too big to fail. And that's hilarious, that the mystery of the galaxy. No, you mean NVIDIA stock is historically probably will go down in history as the most inflated, overvalued. Is that the right word? I mean, there's nothing there. There's nothing there. It's crazy. Yeah. Anyway, sorry.
China said they don't want NVIDIA. They're going to develop their own chips.
Yeah, that would do it, right?
NVIDIA stock.
They might have to take Taiwan though first. Ooh, uh-oh.
Trump said Taiwan's too far away to defend.
Yeah, Don't let Nancy Pelosi hear him say that.
Trump says we will likely have to pay back $149 billion in tariffs.
We who?
The U.S. government.
We him?
The U.S. federal government. And remember, exposed by Aaron Day, we reported on it, Lutnick's firm leveraged up the tariffs by 40%, knowing that it would fail, and bet against it. So they profiteered off of this whole tariff scheme. So tell me more about how you're fighting fraud, Howard Lutnick.
I still can't. I just can't believe that when the Democrats take back, they're going to have to. We're searching far and wide for an excuse to persecute these people. We just can't seem to find anything yet, people. But have faith. We'll keep looking. U.S.
national debt official national debt over $39 trillion. And booking as fast as the eye can see here now, Turkey sold nearly all of its U.S. Treasury holdings in March, cutting them from $16 billion to $1.8 billion, according to a report out of Bloomberg.
Wowza. And didn't I see a headline, or did you talk about France is pulling out the gold or something from the U.S., or was it their silver?
Gold, I believe.
Yeah. Yeah, these are the rats leaving the sinking ship, folks.
U.S. national debt officially hit $39 trillion with a T, adding approximately $5 billion a day since October last year. And it's exponential. You see, it just keeps piling on top of top. And so what is the plan with this national
debt? We'll use
debt?
a new, what's after trillion? Because is it quadrillion?
I think so. I don't even know.
Yeah. I mean, at some point soon in our lifetime, hopefully, if we live that long, till a couple of years from now, they'll have to invent an entire new word for how much money they're spending, right? A Trump billion. They'll call it a Trump billion. There you go. I called it. I nailed it.
A Trump billion. Think of that. It's hard to even grasp. $5 billion a day on just the debt, and it's exponential with compound interest.
This is easy. You can picture $5 in your head, right? Just picture that a billion times. There you go. No, I'm just kidding.
Back here on Main Street, groceries just had the biggest price hike in years. I've been reporting on it. I don't need the Hill to tell me. I go grocery shopping and track the prices very closely because I'm poor, you see, and try to get the best deal for the best product there in the grocery market. So the Hill had this headline. And so, yes, indeed, grocery prices just had the biggest price hike in years. It's about
and that's That's a dirty game. I hate to call out the grocery stores on this, but they've been caught doing this numerous times, especially recently during the 2020 thing, right? They take advantage of these news headlines and this crisis of the impression of one to price gouge everybody. So, yes, there is a world of hurt coming, but these people bring it on a little early than is necessary because they're just taking advantage of people. Corporations are dirty, disgusting things. I just wanted to point that out because you might run into that information one day in your life and be like, how come Ruckus never brought that up? There you go.
Because he's a fascist. That's why.
That's right.
No, you're calming now. I forgot.
That's right. Tomorrow I'll be a fascist again.
The price of groceries rose 2.9% in April compared to the same month a year earlier, according to government figures. And that's vastly underreported. It's a lot higher than that. Let me tell you, tomatoes are 40% more expensive than they were this time last year. Coffee, another imported product, is 19% more expensive than it was last spring. And they go through some of the staples here. Meat. Well, you don't even have to eat meat because you get alpha-gal disease because Bill Gates is looking out for our wallet. So we don't even have to eat meat because we're going to be allergic to it. See how that works? It's wonderful. Meat is up 9% overall, but beef has grown even more expensive. Ground beef is about 15% higher. Beef roast are 18% higher, and steak is up 16%. And so thankfully, I forget even the college we covered here, there was a bioethics study, and they said it was their moral duty to release these weaponized ticks that give you alpha-gal to reduce people's meat eating for the earth, of course. And so it's very ethical, bioethical, and moral to release weaponized ticks upon an unsuspecting population to help decrease the meat intake.
I wonder why they would have to do it that way rather than just, slipping it into the stuff like the miracle juice and the other things that people already willingly, voluntarily. Oh, okay. All right. I guess they really, really want to spread the love around, don't they? Just in case you're hesitant about those types of things. Well, we'll just make it happen for you anyways,
Well, if none of that works, it's just going to be $100 for a hamburger. And so you're not even going to be able to afford to eat the meat. You see, net zero, Ruckus, net zero, one way or another. Let's take a look at the price of a gallon of gasoline here. As per usual, it keeps going up steadily. It went up, 2 cents? About 1.5 cents from yesterday. According to AAA national average, the price for a gallon of gasoline on average across America is now up to $4.56 a gallon. And so, Republicans are set to win the midterms campaigning on the price of gasoline, Ruckus. No?
It's been a long time since I was a driver and owned a car, but back in the day, correct me if I'm wrong, it wasn't frequent. Like the gas prices didn't like constantly go up or then down again. It was just like it would stay away for a while, and then it was like, oh well, it would go up a little bit, and then you might see a little competition between a penny here and there, or from one across the corner to the other. But to see this steady increase like this is crazy to me. I don't know how everybody can handle it. What this is doing to their lives, their sanity, the cost of everything. Just sucks.
Ignore the panicans and trust in President Trump.
As we look at now the Persian standoff in the Strait of Hormuz there, where allegedly America doesn't even get anything from. We take a look now at Brown University, the Watson School of International and Public Affairs. And yesterday we hit the 333. Sorry we missed Ruckus on the show for that. Today we're up to $339.12 per household burden spread across gasoline and diesel.
It increased that much in one day?
Mm-hmm. Total consumer burden since the start of the Iran war on February 28th, 2026 is up to $44.4 billion. Here's the going as fast as the national debt there. I do love my little trackers with the fast moving numbers.
Yeah, I mean, it's a sense of calm and ease in an uncertain world, Sam. Absolutely. Brilliant. Yeah, no wonder we're always on edge, right?
Trump talks out of this side of his mouth, that side of his mouth, his rear end. He says, I'm going to do the thing where they tell you the story first and then tell you the back end of it with these two clips. Trump, 1 minute after saying the U.S. controls the Strait of Hormuz, he says, we want the Strait of Hormuz open. Let's play these couple clips. Like who? Maybe this is some type of the spell, the dark occultism, gaslighting that he uses, because he contradicts himself within 30 seconds, right? And so it's like, who could even, you just turn off. Maybe that's what what he tries to do is get you to turn off mentally, where you're like, I can't listen to this, or get you to believe his lies. I don't know. He plays a lot of games, 1,000 dirty tricks. Here's the clips. And then we'll show you the clip before this clip.
We cannot let Iran have a nuclear weapon. Yes, Daniel?
Just let me just do one follow-up on that. How do you want things to end up with the Strait of Hormuz, though? Would you like that to happen?
We want it open. We want it free. We don't want tolls. It's international. It's an international waterway. They're not charging tolls.
We want it open. Yeah. This is the clip before that where he says we have total control of the Strait of Hormuz. Which is it? You can't have it both ways, but Trump always has it both ways and two ways on Sunday.
Oh, yeah, Jeff.
Following up on that, sir, Iran is negotiating with Oman to set up a formalization of charging tolls in the Strait of Hormuz. Is that acceptable to you?
Well, we're looking at it. We hear about it. They've negotiated. They've had a relationship with them before. And we'll see. We have total control of the Strait of Hormuz, as you know, with our block.
Flip-flop, ping-pong, basketball dribbling up and down, right?
Bing, bing, bing. That's what famous Trump propaganda says. Well, thankfully we're taking care of our greatest ally there in West Asia. Report out of the Washington Compost. They say the U.S. fired far more advanced missile interceptors than Aardvark land while defending Aardvark land during the recent heavy attacks with Iran. American forces launched over 200 THAAD interceptors, about half the U.S. stockpile, plus more than 100 naval missiles, while Aardvark land used fewer than 200 of its own high-end interceptors combined. The imbalance highlights how heavily Washington carried Aardvark land's defense burden. And
well, I mean, but, aren't you proud to be a part of that?
Indeed. Indeed. Anything for the only democracy there in West Asia. Department of War, meme of the day, right here. Everything's max now. Max this, max that. Department of War picked up on that trend, and they're maximizing lethality. And they quote Trump here on this post. They say, if you hurt Americans or are planning to hurt Americans, we will find you and we will kill you.
Pleasant. I'm sure they mean it metaphorically, though.
American military, I think they mean it literally.
Oh, yeah.
American military dominance under U.S. President Trump, the War Department is maximizing lethality.
Well, forgive me if I can't get excited about those things, Hoorah.
Are you, well, You're for the commies in Cuba?
Sure. No, probably not.
Trump on
I'm
Cuba.
for not like killing people and, like worshiping lethality and renaming the Department of Defense, like the intention of having an armed citizenry or a military or a militia in any way, shape, or form is to defend yourself from some sort of infringing enemy, whether that's foreign or domestic. But instead, we've changed that to, oh no, we're just like, as you said, ripping away the transparency, the veil, it's gone, and we're just full-blown war. We're the empire. We're the bully. Do what we say or we will effing literally kill you. But also in the name of God, because we're a Christian nation. Get out of here with that. Stop it. You're not fooling anybody.
Reportedly, I forget even which aircraft carrier, an aircraft carrier just pulled into the Caribbean. It's looking like we're going to make a move on Cuba. Here's Trump earlier today on Cuba. Cuba's next, they keep telling us.
Regarding Cuba, there was an aircraft carrier that just arrived there this week, a Nimitz aircraft carrier. Are you sending that there to intimidate the Cuban government?
No, not at all. The Cuba, look, it's a failed country. Everybody knows it. They don't have electricity. They don't have money. They don't have really anything. They don't have food. And we're going to help them along, and we're going to help them because number one, I want to help them. I don't want to on a humanitarian basis, but we have the Cuban American population, much of it living in Miami and Florida. That's a great group of people, amazing group of people, industrious, they're great Americans. They've wanted this to happen. They want to go back to their country. They want to help their country. I hope they're going to stay here, but they want to go back. They want to invest in their country and, see if they can bring it back. Other presidents have looked at this for 50, 60 years doing something, and it looks like I'll be the one that does it, so we'd be happy to do it. We want to open.
I'm helping, he says. They have nothing because of U.S. blockade and the weaponization of the world's reserve currency, the dollar. I'm helping.
I said it before. Stop helping.
Trump, he said he's helping the Cubans on a humanitarian basis.
I think a bomb by when we start bombing them, and they're like, yes, we like being bombed, right?
Every country that America bombs, the people love it. That's that's known, right? If you get U.S. bombs dropped on you, it's to help you, and the people reciprocate that with their love.
Thank you, sir. May I have another?
That kind of routine, yeah. Man, Pakistani Prime Minister Sharif will travel to Beijing Saturday for a 4-day visit in China. So all those big dogs that actually live over there, they got to live with each other. That have borders, Russia, China, Pakistan, Iran, they're all meeting up. They're all meeting up there and winking back. Yeah, we love you, America. We love you, bro. It's not good. So that meeting's coming up. And then the interest of time, we won't do a deep dive, but just to show you, I did ask Simon, is there any details that we need to report about this big Russia-China meeting? And he said, yeah, there is. And this is the rigmarole you got to go through because Russia is influencing our minds with their propaganda. But to actually get a message from Russia, you have to go to their Telegram channel here. And this is via Simon. Shout out to Simon because he's on top of the deep research, actually reading the government documents, what they're actually saying. So you got to go to their Telegraph channel. You got to click the link. Then you go to the Russia channel. It's in Russian, but I already translated it into English for us. And then we can actually hear what the Russians are actually saying about their meeting with China. So it's quite a process here now. a joint declaration of the Russian Federation and the People's Republic of China on the formation of a multipolar world and international relations of a new type.
That's a mouthful already.
And it's not that long, but hopefully I'll find some time to be able to read it out here for you. It's about the same as we've been hearing from, but this is the latest. Let's see their Telegraph. I think they had 4 points, and let me just read you the bullet points. Of those 4 points, they say Russia and China undertook and call on the international community to adhere to the following basic principles in their relations with one another. So this is like, big brother saying kids, or dad, right? They're like the adults in the room, and they're like, kids, come on. Okay, so Russia and China, the adults in the room, they say the principle of openness of the world to inclusive and mutually beneficial cooperation, the principle of indivisible and equal security, the principle of I can't even pronounce it, of international relations, of democratization of international relations and improvement of the global governance system. They're talking about the UN. The diversity of world civilizations and values. And then they go into the details in each of those sections in this communique by the Russian government there. And we'll hopefully, if I can get some time, go into a dive on that for the details. And there'll be like one person nerd, foreign policy nerd, that wants to actually know or care what they say, or just listen to Fox News and bomb the hell out of Russia and start, hot World War III. I don't know. It's up to you guys out there. But Russia and China wants framework for global governance is essentially their pitch, as America's pulling back and saying, we're going to do our own thing over here and not follow any liberal international order rules as it was laid down after World War II. We're in a new era, a new world order, and we're doing our own thing over here. So
Trump's got his board of peace, and Trump being the president of the country who just changed the Department of Defense to the Department of War. It all makes perfect sense.
Russia and China say they want to maintain a global balance of forces and improve, and looking for improvement of the system of international relations. They all see, I was talking about this yesterday or the day before. All these other guys are like PhD level academics, diplomats who treat everybody with respect and follow all the official rules and are cordial and this, that, and that. Trump goes in there, bull in a China shop, F you, and here's Kushner to sell you a freaking real estate deal. And the rest of the world's like, what? This guy doesn't know anything about our relations, about the history, about the technology they're trying to negotiate over. Like literally nothing. And a few of them have said it. And that's who is representing America to these high-level intellectuals in all these other countries.
It's like all these other countries, the PhD level sophisticated ones are like Stephen King chapter that spends like 42 pages describing a tree in the forest with great excruciating detail. And then like the other side here is like, it's the kid's book with the color of the square, and it's the trans person reading it in the public library. Yeah.
That's a pretty good analogy. That's the level we're on here now. And the rest of the world's just like, nah.
And then they're like, but that's not even a tree. Shut up. Are you a TDS?
Shut up, you damn commies. Oh my gosh. We're in a world of hurt over here when our top negotiator is Jared Kushner. Okay. We're in a world of hurt, and he don't give a damn about America or you and I or anybody here. He's out for his own self-best interest, and he's an ultra-Zionist on top of it. Okay. Okay. Continuing here. Trump said the United States will be sending an additional 5,000 troops to Poland. As I saw some reports out there that they're saying Russia's now maybe using nuclear weapons, like lacing some of their bullets with uranium or something like this, or their drones actually, was one report out there. I don't know. Russia is pumping up their fear-mongering of nuclear weapons. They just did a big nuclear weapons test, and they showed fancy missiles being shot up, and they say we'll blow up the world. Basically, don't F with us. You know what I mean? So all that's going on.
Yeah, this isn't good. Yeah, I was wondering this whole time with us kicking the hornet's nest over Iran. Iran is not necessarily the problem. It's like other countries that have nuclear stockpile weapons. Well, let's go poke the Russian bear again and just keep poking all these bears and these hornet's nests. What the F are they doing? They really are trying to start World War III.
Russia's flexing big time. They're flexing big time, saying F around and find out, basically.
Well, and so is Iran. So is all the places. So are all of the suspects. So I'm like, yeah, it seems like they're going to do something. But remember that there's these reports that seem pretty legitimate. Even my friend and colleague Patrick Henningsen is continuing to insist that at least he trusts the stories and the sources about how there's a lot of casualties and wounded folks over this Iran thing that they don't want to admit to. And I've been saying that they need to somehow account for that eventually, right? Are they going to slow drip it out? Or wouldn't it be neat if like, oh, we're making an announcement that we're sending thousands of troops to another location somewhere else. And then what if something bad happens somewhere else that we're told that is just a cover up for the things that bad have happened elsewhere already? But then it's like killing two birds with one stone. Now we can like, oh, look what Russia just did, when it could have very well been our own tomfoolery in Iran, is what I'm saying. I'm just a weird theory. Just put it out there because they do like to move their pieces around and their numbers and mess with everything. Look what they did during the miracle time. They certainly had fun with their numbers, fudging things and moving things around under different categories. Trump almost got impeached for moving numbers around, right? Yeah.
Hey,
almost.
A bunch of military casualties out of the invasion of Cuba. Maybe. You know what I mean? Hey.
No, the Cuba will be it'll be a repeat of like we came, we saw, we kicked some freaking ass and we used our discombobulator. And it was the most fantastic thing. Yeah.
America!
It'll be one of those things. Yeah. But I mean, look at the countries like suffering, standing on its last leg, suffering a blackout.
For cover. I get they're looking for cover to actually, because they know they can't cover up the data forever. So we need cover as a side story to, softly walk out this data about the real damage. It was hot and heavy.
Just a theory.
Yeah. Okay. I hear you, and I agree with that. Where and how all this is going to happen, they're still cooking that up right now. But it's going to happen. Well, thankfully, Al Qaeda here now, Ruckus. I know you're a big fan, as am I, of this Western intelligence terrorist group creation. The head of it now, they're in Syria, al-Shara. He's now he's going to attend the G7 summit in France.
Are we even attending that?
We're banned due to racism. No, the self-proclaimed Syrian president, Ahmed al-Shara, will attend the upcoming G7 summit in France, according to a report out of Reuters. And so think of that. This guy went from being al-Qaeda terrorist with an international freaking, I forget it, what was it, like $10 million on his head, wanted dead or alive, to now being the president of Syria and attending the G7 summit there with The G7 countries consist of Canada, France, Germany, Italy, Japan, UK, and America. So, I mean, this is the most incredible rise from being wanted, dead or alive, by the West, America mainly, but you could just say the quote West, Anglo-American establishment, to now being one of their own.
Are they officially making Syria or him a member, or he's just
attending? No, he's just going to go there and see how the scam works, because they're like, come on.
He's like the people, these countries get the invites +1, right? It's like a +1 invite.
But it's amazing that they're saying this guy's Al Qaeda. He's a jihadi head chopper. But now here he is with a tie on, no less, and a trimmed down beard, and welcomed with open arms to the next G7 meeting.
Very handsome man. He comes from a rough neighborhood, Sam.
On to these devils that want to bring baby formula to starving Palestinian babies.
Those damn terrorists.
I'm telling you, all Flotilla activists were released from Aardvarkland prison are being deported. They were abused there and tortured by Ben Gvir, among others. Italian journalist details being stripped, bound, and beaten after Aardvarkland forces pirated the Gaza flotilla. He details the abuse that he suffered. Montavani reported, that's this Italian journalist, and out of ANSA news agency, detailed how he and other activists were beaten, handcuffed, and shackled by Aardvarkland forces following the maritime pirating of the Gaza-bound Global Smith-Mundt flotilla, arriving back in Rome airport alongside five-star movement lawmaker Dario Carantino. After their deportation, he described the boarding operation as far more violent than past encounters. He says he witnessed severe injuries among the passengers, including suspected fractures to arms and ribs, and noted that even women were struck during the assault. And again, that was a flotilla of activists trying to deliver aid to Gaza. It consisted of 50 vessels with 400 international activists from 44 different countries. There's more. Italy now calls for. We're gonna have to. I'm tired of Italy, man. Italy calls for UN sanctions on Ben Gvir, Ruckus. What are we gonna do about this?
Oh no, they did not. These people.
Italy earlier today said that it requested EU sanctions against Aardvarkland National Security Minister Ben Gvir after he published footage showing detained activists from the flotilla kneeling. That's in the thumbnail. It's not Muslims praying. They're down. They're being tortured at gunpoint. Is what that image is. Well, here's the image on Weaponized News thumbnail. You could see here, they're not doing the Muslim prayer there. They're all zip tied at gunpoint and told to stay in this position or you will be terminated. That's some of the torture that Aardvarks did to these activists trying to deliver aid. More about this. Italian Foreign Minister Tajani said the activists had been subjected to harassment and humiliation in violation of basic human rights, while Prime Minister Meloni, the blonde woman, says demanded the immediate release of detained Italian activists and an apology from Aardvarkland.
Who does she think she is?
Dude, You better watch out, Italy. Is all I could say. Here's some of the abuse you could see from some photos that came out. Yeah, that's fine. It's just a scratch. That right there, yeah. So they beat the hell out of these people is what they did. I guess they're lucky they didn't whack them.
You know, it's because they were a little rough and did some messed up stuff the first time they did this when they detained everybody on the first roundup, right? With the one with Greta, but they got away with it. So they're like, well, I guess we can push it a little bit further this time. What's going to happen the next time? They're just going to shoot these people. Just a heads up.
They'll just whack their boat and say, well, they were drug traffickers. There you go.
Hey, there you go. Good idea. Brilliant. Smart, Sam. You should be in politics, I think, in this current administration somewhere. Maybe run for office in Aardvark land.
Ireland and Spain also back calls for EU sanctions, with the Spanish foreign minister Al Barnes describing the treatment as monstrous, disgraceful, and inhumane. France summoned the Aardvark land ambassador. I think we reported on that yesterday. Germany ambassador to Aardvark land called the treatment wholly unacceptable. We're going to have the freaking... You're done, Europe. You hear me? You're done. A Viking army, Aardvark land soldiers testified to systemic looting in southern Lebanon. So while they're leveling the place and they forced over 1 million Lebanese to evacuate or be whacked, Aardvark land soldiers occupying southern Lebanon report systemic looting of civilian homes and businesses, along with widespread destruction of villages and infrastructure, while commanding officers looked the other way, according to a report out of Aardvark's own newspaper, Haaretz.
Are the most popularly stolen items women's underwear?
5 soldiers from different backgrounds gave testimonies of the battlefield culture akin to a, quote, Viking army, where discipline gives way to moral disintegration and a lawless environment in which officers turn the other cheek more often than not. For most of the senior commanders, it did not matter. Soldiers looted even when the brigade commander came to visit, and he continued to turn a blind eye. One soldier testified in this report out of Haaretz.
That's another example of this. You let 1 or 2 of them get away with it the first time, and yep, here we are. Yep.
The ongoing leveling campaign and land theft in southern Lebanon continues. There's images. They're leveling the place. Earlier today, Drop Site News reports at least 16 Lebanese were killed and 35 injured in Aardvark land attacks across southern Lebanon yesterday, according to the Lebanese Ministry of Health.
But I'm sure they were all Hamas or Hezbollah or which one are they again? Houthis? No, yeah, Hezbollah.
No, it was all civilians.
Oh, snap. That just keeps happening. Damn it.
But they could have been recruited into Hezbollah in the future.
Obviously. They probably supported them by just being there in the same area as them, right?
About the same thing, yeah. So this woman is out there reporting still, Courtney Barnew. Let's hear her report from the ground. This about 12 hours ago. Since the ceasefire March 2nd, their Lebanese Aardvark land ceasefire, according to Lebanese Ministry of Health, 3,089 Lebanese civilians have been killed and 9,397 injured. More than 200 of those killed were children. And so, but they were going to grow up to be Hezbollah someday, Ruckus. So it's justifiable.
Is that even the official story? I mean, is there
No,
even a reason
that's what they
given
say
anymore?
That's what they say about the Palestinians. They were going to grow up to be Hamas.
Yeah, I know. So, but what's up with the Lebanon thing? I mean,
I'm
do they
keeping
even
their narrative going for them. I'm trying to help the aardvarks, bro. Come on, they need some help.
Yeah, I understand, but I'm. What is the official? Are they just doing the U.S. thing where it's like we don't even need a reason anymore because they had a reason and then they had a different reason for the Venezuela thing, right? Like, so what's the reason anymore? What's
Because
left? Why are we
ceasefire.
just randomly destroying, targeting civilian infrastructure, just killing civilians in Lebanon? Hello, world, wake up! Hello, where are you at? Is it only Italy? Is paying attention to any of this kind of stuff? Anyway.
Because their evil God told them 3,000 years ago it's their land. That's what they say. Here's a on-the-ground reporter, Courtney Bonanu.
Hi, I'm reporting to you again from the town of Douar, where the Israeli army yesterday committed another massacre of civilians, killing 5 and injuring 2. As you can see, many local animals were also hurt in the strike because this, if you look around, you'll see that this is a very densely populated residential area.
Let's go back here. Yeah, you don't care about women and children. Maybe you care about the cats there. America? I don't know. Okay, continuing with the report. Quite horrific indeed. They're even injuring and trying to kill the cats and dogs.
Residential area. Many homes were destroyed here. Multiple cars, including a school bus, was also destroyed in the attack. The Israeli army yesterday attacked 25 towns with airstrikes and artillery shelling. And the Israeli army is committing acts of genocide here in South Lebanon. Just a reminder.
Wowzers.
We can't worry about that. We've got UFOs or something, right?
There's UFOs.
Wait, soccer's coming up, FIFA. So, otherwise, I'm sure the mainstream media would be all over this, right?
No, it's this one reporter that gets that drop site. I guess she's affiliated with them. That is there, and then I'm surprised they don't whack her. They may whack her. The only thing keeping her alive is probably she's a white blonde lady. They've whacked over 200.
With the track record that Aardvark Land has concerning these journalists getting this type of information out there, I'm starting to wonder if she's even real. It's probably AI. Sad to say.
They've killed over 260 journalists. They're reporting on Gaza, and numerous journalists reporting on Lebanon.
I'm just kidding, of course. I'm 99.99% sure she's a real person, and she's incredibly a brave one for sure for doing what she's doing. So kudos to her. But where's the rest of it? We need more. We need more. We need more eyeballs on this, more attention again before this turns into a Gaza thing. But I mean, very completely different and separated from that. That was an occupied territory. I mean, we know the history of the settlers and the all that stuff going on there between Aardvarks and the Palestinians. But this is now we're just like, well, we're going to go do that over here a little bit. We're going to go do it over here a little bit over here. And then next thing you know, you're like, well, hold on a second. This looks a lot like this map that somebody was talking about and pointing to back in the day, greater something land. Anyways, this is just, it's crazy. And this has nothing to do with like, oh, this land was promised to you whatsoever. This is clearly them, you were given an inch, taken a mile yet again. You keep letting all of these tyrannical governments and awful people do awful tyrannical things. They're just going to amplify it and accelerate it.
Well, an Aardvark Land quadricopter drone dropped a bomb in a civilian gathering in northern Gaza earlier today in the last 24 hours, killing a 13-year-old and wounding 2 others. In southern Gaza, emergency crews recovered the bodies of 3 more Palestinians killed by Aardvark Land forces. Medical teams retrieved 2 of the deceased, identifying them as an aid truck driver who was shot in the head by Aardvarkland forces several days ago. Another body was recovered in northeastern Kianis following a separate Aardvarkland attack earlier in the week. So the genocide against the Palestinians continues amid a ceasefire. There. And then the systemic, these ultra-Zionist settlers. Here's ultra-Zionist settlers there in the occupied West Bank in Hebron, stealing a flock of livestock. We do have some video of that. Stealing their livestock here.
It's like a scene out of a Grand Theft Auto game. It's a Grand Theft Sheep.
Grand Theft Sheep. So they're systematically attacking their agriculture industry. Any industry they have, specifically agriculture, they're targeting the animals, the crops, and running them out of their land there in the occupied West Bank.
Notably, one thing they're not doing, Sam, is they're not depositing box of weaponized ticks on the people. Think about that.
Not yet. There's a public health crisis there in Gaza as aid's cut off. They're talking about rats are running all over the place, skin diseases, what you would expect with little to no public sanitation and no clean water. And so we're seeing they don't need to, they've essentially weaponized public sanitation against those people and public health against them in the fact that there is no infrastructure even in place now because it's been blown up. And the same routine is being carried out now in southern Lebanon, whacking paramedics, doctors, nurses, anybody that could even do any type of trauma care for the victims of the attacks is being systematically terminated.
Easily one of the most evil things I think I've ever had to hear about in my entire life. Yeah.
I don't know what about raping prisoners with a...
I said one of, but a vast majority in my top 10 list do belong to Aardvarkland and related matters, which is shocking and quite telling.
They had the guy that raped the prisoners with a knife up the rear end, and they're paraded all over Aardvarkland television, celebrated as heroes, and they were reprimanded and then given a pardon and put back into service.
They were given medals too, I thought.
I think so.
Wonder if they were little golden like pagers or something, right? Or probably nooses. Oh no.
The new iPhone is allegedly going to be manufactured in Aardvarkland. Just saying, watch out, bro. They do have a history of exploding communication devices. They wouldn't do that with an iPhone, though, would they?
Well, people are obsessed with those wearable technologies that RFK Jr. has been pushing on everybody, right? Boy, howdy. Wouldn't that be not fun? Anyway.
Well, if we just get a brain chip like Elon Musk says, everything will be wonderful.
Yeah, could you imagine if something went wrong with one of those buggers, huh?
You'll be able to go to the mall and a robot, and you just sit down there comfortably, and a robot will do the procedure for you soon here now, Ruckus.
I can't wait.
It's exciting times we live in. All right, that's all the reporting we got for today. Let's just take a look at some of the headlines. Have we ended the world yet? No, not quite yet. Iran International says Pakistan mediators fresh U.S.-Iran push toward agreement framework. Asia stocks rise as markets cling to hopes that U.S.-Iran war we're seeing a breakthrough.
Clings to hopes.
That's a headline out of Iran International. Let's see, U.S. sanctions Iran envoy, so a sign of good faith there, more sanctions. Others over Hezbollah influence in Lebanon. The strange afterlife of Iran's firebrand president. What do you make of that? They say they're going to bring Ahmadinejad back into the mix. What do you make of that? Are they going to bring him back in the mix?
Who is that again?
Or are they just trying to get him whacked? This dude, that he was all over the UN. He was saying that they're using weather weapons, earthquake weapons against them.
The name is incredibly familiar. You have a picture of him?
This dude, you'll recognize him. He was Iranian president, I don't know, 10 years ago or something like that.
Oh, yeah. Okay.
That
yeah.
dude. They're trying to bring him back in the mix, and he like retired. I think he went and became a school teacher or something. Like,
I vaguely forgot that he was even still alive, dude. But yeah, I thought I'd seen something about him pop up in the news feed recently. Okay, that should be interesting. It's certainly probably it's so weird. I mean, the very odd one is, of course, what they just had the Unite the Right rally in the UK with the Tommy Robinson thing or whatever, and they were pushing the Raza guy, the son of the.
Yeah. I know you're talking about.
All this
puppet,
weird,
Western puppet.
Yeah,
and
originally the guy was like, "I've lived out here in America. I don't know anybody. I have no friends or nothing in Iran. What are you talking about?" And they keep pushing that guy forward. And I'm like, I see a future, unfortunately, clown world where that's the next leader of Iran is that clown right there.
No, that's who they want, but he's not gonna get traction with the Iranian people.
No, not at all. Of course. I mean, but if they get enough bombs and enough weaponized ticks, they might change their mind, right?
Maybe. They're floating Ahmadinejad coming back into the political fold at a high level in Iran.
He was one of those smart ones too, right? If I remember right. Yeah.
Apparently, and then shout out to Fat Bob. I was listening to some of it. What the guy's name? This Australian dude. What's his name? Brendan O'Connell. Apparently, Apparently, he has firsthand experience because he went to Iran, like, I don't know, 10, 15 years ago, something like this. As well, and he's trying to say, from what I watched about 25 minutes of that video that you sent me, Fat Bob, and Fat Bob's censorship so bad on him, you would have to send smoke signal. No, you had to like send a link on Rumble to be able to, and it's not even a hot link, like I have to cut and paste it. Anyway, he got me the Brandon O'Connell video, and Brandon O'Connell is trying to say that he thinks that old Ahmadinejad is not one of these radical religious fundamentalists, and he's trying to say, from what I saw so far in the video, that he's a legitimate Iranian nationalist that wants to do right by the people and leaving out all this religious fanaticism. I don't know. That's what he's reporting over there. But he's being floated around as maybe somebody that can negotiate that's not part of the radical mullah regime.
Well, if they had somebody like that keeping, Iran's nose clean, America still, or Arvark land combined, they still are not going to stand for that. They're still going to.
They definitely don't want. They want to rule Iran as a puppet state, same as pick
or wipe it off the map,
or wipe them off. Yeah. If we can't have them be a puppet state, then wipe them out. Yeah, that's your choices. So Iran, sorry to tell you, maximum lethality, according to the Department of War. And Trump has said that many different times, right? So I guess we'll follow how and if and why they are using this guy, Ahmadinejad, because he was like at the UN saying all these truths, right? And everybody said, you're crazy, conspiracy dude, don't listen to that dude. And it's looking like, because he was saying they're using weather weapons against them, they're using earthquake weapons. He was saying all this stuff like 10, 15 years ago when he was president. And they're like, no, he's a nut, right?
And now those, that the forces and things have been destroyed and pulled out of the area. Oh, look, now the weather's acting normal again all of a sudden, we've been reporting on, right?
They're saying maybe he can be softer with Aardvark land. I don't know. Maybe they'll accept him as a more palatable figure than the dude, because he's not he doesn't wear the turban, right? He's not a radical mullah. So maybe they'll use him to soft sell him as the figurehead.
That's great, but they would have to replace they'd have to make some political shifts and changes in Aardvark land too for that to properly play out properly in the right way and a good thing for everybody. You know what I mean? I'm very skeptical if that's going to happen. That's all.
No,
I'm
they
saying.
seem hell bent on death and destruction and bloodlust, and as long as the current regime in Aardvark land is in charge, they're going to go about doing their genocide.
It sounds nice, and it might actually be a good thing for the Iranian citizenry. So
yeah, it does. It does indeed. All right.
Certainly better than the bombs, right, that we're sending their
Well,
way.
they love those, but maybe some peace could also help them out. Even though they do love bombs, they do love being bombed. What do you think about those videos? Did you have a chance to see them about? And there was a bunch of Iranian state TV broadcasts where they're handing out AK-47s to the general population. What do you think of that? And teach them how to.
I missed it.
You haven't seen that? No. There's a bunch. They got the women in the whole burqa outfit, and they're right there changing out AK. You know what I mean? They're assembling, disassembling the whole routine as like a Marine would do. They're like doing it, putting on like workshops, showing there's reports they're handing out to women and children AKs, like their populations being armed with AKs, prepping for a U.S. aardvark land. Well, we know no aardvarks will be hurt because they're endangered species, but a U.S. ground invasion, essentially preparing for such an event to happen, arming up the general population with AKs.
Well, they're not that difficult to learn. Just saying.
It's a rifle, right? It's a rifle, pretty simple technology, actually. But yeah, so there's a bunch of videos of that going on as well. All right, that's all the reporting we got for today. We're still in a Persian standoff there in the Strait of Hormuz, and there's talk out there that there's some kind of deal maybe possible here. Now, let's pray for peace. But yeah, I'm skeptical and cynical and jaded by all of this. And so I'm very, I don't have high hopes, honestly. Sad to report to you here now, Ruckus.
Me neither.
Because it feels like the beat goes on, right? The beat goes on.
And the beat right now is coming from those war drums, right?
I don't know what's up with Odysee. Just did some upgrades. So if you guys are listening on Odysee, shout out to you, but I can't even get to it. I don't even know if we streamed on there right now. Here's what it looks like. Let me just throw that. So Odysee has been done. They did some upgrades. See, it says confirming. I don't even know if it's live streaming. I try to click and I can't even open it. So I don't know. But if you guys are on the Odysee, thank you guys for tuning in. And in the chat over there, thank you guys. On my end, I can't even access it. So I'll try to clean that up. Shout out to everybody on the X, Bitchute, Kick, Substack, YouTube, and Rumble. Let's go to the chats here now. Looks like we shook off many of the trolls. Many of the trolls. Oh, we did. If you're a loser, it's your fault. I don't know who these. I'm just jumping in here. Looser.
It's hard going back to these sometimes because they might a lot of times they're reacting to the people in the videos of the things on the screen of the news. They may or may not be talking to us or the other people in the chat rooms. It's hard.
I hear you. It's hard to get the context, but let me try to go through some of these and address some of the chats here. Jimmy, the maggots, yeah. Wolf says hashtag veterans against Trump, hashtag veterans against Trumpism, hashtag vote blue to save America. Yeah, I don't know if voting blue is going to save us here, but I do like the.
I'm going to try yellow. I'm voting yellow this year.
Let's see. We are well aware that Donald Trump calls all Americans losers. What was the thing he said? He said, I like to hang out with losers because it makes me feel better, or something like that, to paraphrase him.
Oh, yikes.
There's A-Dub. Shout out to A-Dub. Bing, Billing, Bong. Yeah. Jimmy over there on the YouTube. Everyone that's getting gas, working 40 hours a week, trying to take care of children, according to MAGA, is an American loser. Trump is making money, so shut up, peasant. That's a good take there, Jimmy. That's about the sentiment of MAGA out there right now. I don't know if these are even real people or they're just the bots. But have you thought of? I thought of this, Ruckus. What if it's Democrat bots that are running all this MAGA hate to demonize Trump backhandedly? That is also a possibility. And I believe there really are MAGAs that have that in their heart as well. What do you think about that?
That's far too complicated for the left. I'm sorry to say.
They need me as a political strategist because I'd say, hey, let me tell you what's really going to get it. You know what I mean? But I thought of that because I was like, are these people this deranged? I was like, this has got to be.
I think.
I was like, this is Democrats doing this just to make MAGA look.
I think there are a lot of instances out there where people own many, and I mean many, accounts, and they all take one flavor and one stance and do the thing. It's all part of like a grift because it's popular. Yeah, and so it's popular right now, and so people take advantage of it. And yeah, there's a lot of bad people out there in this world that are just looking out for numero uno, which is themselves. Yeah.
And running all kind of psyops.
Scams. Yeah. I mean, it's not a psyop, it's a scam usually. Yeah.
Let's see here. Never go full wall kisser. John.
Oh, that's clever.
There you go.
Whatever do you mean? Kissing what wall? Who kisses walls?
Hey, I don't know what you guys are talking about. Henry Kissinger, great American patriot, Secretary of State, won the Nobel Peace Prize. All right. Pamela says it's a yearly exercise. Roman Fortress Sims. That was Johnny, but yeah, those are it's two different conversations. One's on Rumble, one's on YouTube. It's like totally disjointed, but yeah, I'm trying to give you guys shout outs there. And I do appreciate you listening to the show and chatting it up there. Bartow on the Rumble says, Kushner bought the former NBA corporate headquarters building. Oh, address 666. Yeah, in New York. I didn't know it was the former NBA corporate headquarter building.
There's like a bunch of offices, I thought, in that place. And one of them was also a publishing company. God, I can't remember. I have so many books. I own a lot of books where, like, right on the front page, it's got the address and it's 666 Fifth Avenue or whatever.
Books are bad, Ruckus.
Hey, now.
Reading is a conspiracy theory. Let's see. Shout out to Mac. Everybody go to Mac's Substack channel. He's putting out reports over there quite frequently. Plugged them yesterday. I don't have it pulled up today. But shout out to Mac, a regular listener there. Appreciate you, brother. IDF stealing washer machines for chips for drones. That's what Maddie said. That's one of Ruckus's people right there. I wouldn't.
Someone was asking about Boiler Room. There will be a live Boiler Room tomorrow night, Friday, on alternate current radio. So there you go.
And Snow saying, "Don't bring my people into this." He's talking about the Viking army reference there.
Or was he talking about the communists?
No,
kidding,
I'm pretty sure he's talking about the Viking army reference. The dog assaults, don't forget those. Yeah, we covered it. Pink on the YouTube. It's like, if you're, I don't know who. It's like the evil mind, they're just cooking up. How do we make these people suffer in the most inhumane, humiliating, horrible way? Because they're violated by Aardvark land, and then they're not accepted back into their own Muslim culture because of that violation. And now they got to face it from Aardvark land and Muslims. So imagine that. And the Aardvarks know this, and that's why they're systemically doing this, to alienate them from their own community, is also a part of this operation, aside from the actual upfront abuse, which is horrific.
Glad you mentioned that in case some people didn't know that, because not everybody takes my frequent advice and goes and does some research by themselves. But yes, in case you didn't know, now you know. I wonder if they have some sort of like an AI. Do they have their own special AI to help them out? They're like, hey, Satan GPT, how can I do some more evil stuff, the worse than the last? Hey, that's a great idea, or whatever it says back to them. I'm just saying, where do they come up with these evil ideas? It's crazy.
They have psychological warfare chiefs cooking this stuff up, how to inflict maximum pain and damage to these people, right? For sure, 100%. Let's see. Snow says he's saying there's going to be a false flag at the World Cup. May very well be. May very well be. Bardo says mobster movies have shown me restaurants and bars without windows. Let's see. A-Dub says she's an awesome reporter. My wife's father came from Lebanon, so it pisses me off even more. I work with a lady from Lebanon doing accounting work, and yeah, so I know some Lebanese personally as well. Amazing. Let's see here. It is so tragic and cruel that my mind is blown, Def said. And Def's been a victim of state abuse. So you're even getting Def Mac over there to I mean, I agree with you, Mac. It's just like, do they have a direct line to Satan or some demon and getting directions about how to torment these people? Like, that's what it feels like, right? I mean, it's just like, wow. Tinfoil turban, Mac. Oh man, let's see. Pamela says lots of spaces only have streets facing windows, and many are blown in basement spaces, so it's pretty easy to make them windowless. Lovely says wars are where they find the psychopaths to recruit into the CIA.
That was before Facebook and Discord and Reddit.
Now they recruit them right off there?
Yeah.
Wowzers. There you go. Snow with the answer. He said Saturn GPT. That may very well be it. That may very well be it.
Its logo is a black cube.
It's a black cube. Oh my gosh. That's all we got for today, Ruckus. Any final words before we sign off this broadcast?
Thanks for having me. Tune into the Boiler Room tomorrow night after Weaponized News, and then check me out with my friends and colleagues. We'll be doing Sunday Wire. I'm sure me and Hesher, possibly Basil Valentine, will join Patrick Henningsen in the Overdrive segment, as we usually do. And as Bill Cooper reminded us, I'll remind you again, read everything, listen to everybody, but don't believe anything unless you prove it for yourself using your own research. Thanks again, Sam. God bless everybody.
Thank you, Ruckus. And now that you mentioned Bill Cooper, everybody go read his book, Behold the Pale Horse. In that book, he says that he was a big UFO alien guy because he got fed a bunch of disinformation by the Navy as a Navy intelligence officer. He went and he was so blown away by it, he went and did his own research, camping outside Area 51 and doing his own reconnaissance. What is going on here? Are there aliens? And he said, after years of research, independently, outside of being fed disinformation as a Navy intelligence officer, he said that all this is actually human technology that you're seeing up there, UFOs or whatever bouncing around. So I don't know. They killed him after he predicted 9/11 shortly thereafter. So I would go back and take a look at the great work of William Cooper, because I think he was pretty right on the money there. All right, friends, as always, everybody do your own research, peace, love, and freedom. Speak out and take action. Have a great rest of your Thursday evening, and we'll be back here on Friday for more Weaponized News. And be sure to hit up the Boiler Room and follow Ruckus and all of his great work at Alternate Current Radio. Here's your, again, the links are all there. Click a couple times, and you can find all of the greatness. Have a great rest of your Thursday evening, and we'll see you tomorrow.